with it. And I never ran into that in any Western tradition. Always like a toolbox. Well, here's your toolbox of things. We can do that here, put breathing in your toolbox, and we'll bring this stuff in over here. These archetypes, we'll bring those in and put those in the toolbox, and somehow we'll have these conversations. But the conversations never had any deep integration. They were just, applying your intellect to it, and people sitting around making up their version without it. I don't even know, if you look at the deep wisdom tradition in India, whether or not it's true is not so much important as the fact that it is a way that's integrated. And there are other religious traditions, Christianity and Judaism and stuff, that don't go back as far, but certainly don't have the same level of integration. And in nowhere, at least, having been raised in a Christian tradition, never sat around focusing on your breath. You never looked at how are you feeling. Let's actually look at your physiology. Focus on what do you feel? What's there? How are you? How are you showing up? How does that influence the situation? None of that was important to that. It was all like, well, you're supposed to figure that stuff out and just show up as a good person. If you're not a good person, well, then you're going to have to work on that. And without any benefit or guidance about how are you going to work on that? And what responsibility do you have when you show up in a context, and how do you monitor that so that you might detect a disturbance that you're contributing, or a disturbance in this relationship that is coming out of something in you that you're not even aware of, but it's being transmitted, and it's influencing that person, and then their disturbance is influencing you, and you don't even realize you're on this negative spiral because it's not part of your tradition to actually look into that.
I think one of the things which, when you were sharing, which brought to me also as well, is that when you make it about physiology, when you make it about your own inner journey, and as you're feeling, it kind of pins it down to what you're feeling at that point in time. Right. And then it was nice to see that, whether people were from the East or the West or the Middle East or wherever they're from, and whatever weird, varied experiences they've had, it brought so many resonances and dissonances, right, in the sharing as well. We could see that, as a group sharing also happened, somebody else's sharing gave clarity to me. Right. Even in this journey, though I was holding space to do these activities, many of the people sharing brought about my own things which I have not been able to articulate. And they, so also it's a rich group experience.
Yes. And that I think was a more succinct way of getting at what I was trying to say, that we're all human beings. And as a result of this shared stuff, that we have tremendous similarity, kind of blurred by cultural differences, but beyond that, very similar. And so when you're in a group, it's like being in a dialogue group or whatever, that every person's bringing a perspective, and you can never have their perspective. You can listen to it. It might influence you, but you'll never have it the same way. And so only by listening to them, you grow in that particular place, because otherwise you would never you would never experience it, right? If somebody didn't tell you, like if we were both looking at an object sitting across from one another, and it's white on your side and black on my side,
Yeah.
and I can't move around physically, and I can't turn the object, the only thing I can do to know more about it is from you telling me. And I might, for example, if I felt that you were telling me that because you were trying to manipulate me or exploit me or something, that's a different thing. But I still have something that you told me about, and now I know maybe it's white on your side. If I trust you as a man of integrity, I will say, yes, it's white.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that because I can't see it. But now that information can guide some of my future decisions, maybe.
Yeah. Nice.